The War Within came out yesterday, and in this video we're gonna find out the numbers at launch. Blizzard will not tell us, so we gotta get crafty here. Now, they do not release the subscriber numbers, and even if they did, that's not gonna help anymore because we got classic WoW, and I'm gonna show you something that's really cool about the statistics of that. Now, there are a couple ways that we can estimate, if not the actual players, we can estimate the interest people have in the game. Of course, that's never gonna be a one-to-one conversion, but you know, all things equal, if there is more interest in one expansion over the other, that expansion did better, presumably got more players. Now, the War Within came out yesterday, obviously, and you can say, even though it launched yesterday, the search results are stagnating. It hit its peak more or less 3 days before it came out, and it hasn't moved much since. We go from 95 to 98 to 100 right there and going back down already. If you take a look at the last 7 days, you can see the peak right here one day, the other day, the other day, the other day. This is launch day. And then down here is 27 today, 14% down. So of course, there is no telling what happens when the raids come out. But for the most part, we can predict these results as the peak of the expansion in search. It's gonna decline every day, the Mythic Plus comes out and it goes back up, you know. Dragonflight came out 2 years ago almost, and it was pretty decently received. I wouldn't say it was like a huge expansion, but it was definitely something that people look forward to a lot more than, say, Shadowlands or BFA. Of course, we can overlap these results, compare the results of Dragonflight when it came out a year ago and the results of today. And as you can see, Dragonflight peaked at 100% because it's the biggest number, and the War Within currently peaked at 90%. Now, I wouldn't go as far as to say that they are losing 10%. Once again, the raids haven't come out yet. I would say they are dead even. Of course, searching for the game is very different from actually having an interest in playing the game, and I think there is even better data to estimate that. Who are the most terminally online WoW addicted people in the world? Twitch viewers! That's right, we can just take a look at the Twitch viewership and then we can make a conclusion. So this is the weekly average. The War Within came out, 67,000 average viewers this week. If we go to the last 3 days when the game came out, that is 75,000. Although if you take a look at the numbers a little deeper, this is the last 3 days, and the numbers in red means that the previous 3 days before these 3 days, they are down. As you can see, there is less hours broadcast, so less time people spend streaming the expansion, less average amount of streamers streaming the game at the same time, and the peak viewership, which I think is the most important one, because when is it gonna peak? When the freaking expansion comes out, obviously. But somehow the peak viewership has been higher before the expansion came out than now. 259,000 compared to 289,000. That's an Asmongold worth of viewers right there that's missing. Did he not stream the launch? There's no way he didn't stream the launch. Let me take a look at that. Okay, so yeah, he did stream it at launch. There you go, 47k viewers and everything. So, you know, he's not missing from the launch. Honestly, 47,000 viewers in average when an expansion comes out for Asmongold is absolutely nothing. That should be like a bit of a giveaway. If I am not mistaken, when Classic WoW came out, he was a 500k. Even with that Korean game, I forgot the name, the one that looks like Diablo. Oh yeah, Lost Ark. Okay, when Lost Ark came out, he was also like at 500k, and that's not even his main game. So for his main game on a major release of his main game to be averaging like pretty average numbers, you can see right here, 41, 42, 43, 60k right here, it almost didn't move the needle at all. So yes, I would say that's probably a sign that the hype is not there, at least for his viewer base. If you take a look at the game the last 7 days, it will match almost exactly what you saw on the last week on Google search. We picked at the launch day, and then the peak today has been a little lower, and it's probably gonna keep declining until the raids come out again. Of course, we're trying to keep score here. That's what we do here. That's what people wanna see. So how does it fare compared to Dragonflight? This annoying graph is the best data we can get from this website, and this is the best website for Twitch. I tell you, it sucks. But once again, Dragonflight came out in November 28 and the War Within came out yesterday. This is November right here, and this is December. As you can see right here, December 2022 average 100,000 viewers. I don't know why Blizzard always releases an expansion at the end of the month. I bet you there is a good reason for that. I don't know, they do the research. But a more reliable data point you can get is peak viewership, because the peak is gonna be when it comes out, of course. Now if we take a look at here, the peak viewership when Dragonflight came out, 800,000. That's the peak viewership we got in November, at the very end of November when Dragonflight came out. If we compare that to the War Within when that came out, the peak viewership we got at the launch day is only 260,000. That's insane. Of course, there is a lot of factors. Of course, it could very well be that there is less major streamers online at the same time. Maybe like the big streamers were streaming at separate times when the day came out. I do not think that happened. Of course, if you're a big streamer, if you're like any streamer, honestly, you want to stream the very moment it comes out because that's when people want to see it, of course. And even then, we only see 260,000 peak viewership. Once again, we haven't seen how it looks when the raids come out, but are we really going to get, what is the ratio? What is the difference right here? 800,000 divided by 260. So we are talking a little over 3 times more viewers. Are the viewers going to triple? I don't think so. I am not a big retail person, but I believe people that watch retail do not like watching progression rates as much as they do in Classic. But even in Classic, I don't think we would triple the viewership when a raid comes out compared to the expansion launch, okay? Like what I'm trying to say is, compared to the day that Season of Discovery came out, did the raids triple the viewership on Twitch? We can see that actually. Season of Discovery came out the 30th of November, and that's perfect because a week later everybody did the raids. So if we compare November to December once again, if you take a look, this November 2023 is when Season of Discovery came out, and the next month, like a week later, is when the raid came out. And as you can see, the launch of the raids did not significantly increase, actually it is less peak viewership. It did not increase the peak viewership of the expansion as a whole on Twitch. So yes, in conclusion, I think the War Within is not doing nearly as well as Dragonflight. Player numbers will always be something we cannot figure out unless Blizzard feels like telling us, and they will not. But apparently the Dragon Isles are way more hype a concept than the War Within. And I can totally see that. I wouldn't go as far as to say that the player base is 3 times less than Dragonflight. Once again, many factors play at Twitch. But I can almost certainly tell you that the War Within is performing worse than Dragonflight. Once again, I do not have the explanation for that. I am not a retail player, but if you guys want to argue about it in the comments, I will gladly get my popcorn and watch you guys yell at each other. Please do. Be polite, do not drop the bad words on it because then I get in trouble. But yeah, I would love to see it. Subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.